Welcome back to Stadiums of the World, everyone. Today we are in Sin City, touring Allegiant Stadium, where we will be giving you an in-depth look at places like the locker rooms, the suites, including things like Coors Light Landing, and many other exciting features that you may not normally see when you go around the stadium. Located in Las Vegas, Nevada, Viva Las Vegas, just west of the Strip, and home of the Las Vegas Raiders and UNLV football team. With nicknames like the Death Star and being the second most expensive stadium ever built, it's easy to see how it's one of the new grand jewels of the NFL. Every photo you see today was taken by me. Subscribe to the channel, I appreciate that. Don't forget, you can write in the comments section saying what you like about this stadium. And with that, let's start the tour. Allegiant Stadium is nearly a brand new stadium that opened back in 2020 with a capacity of 65,000 seats. One of the first things you'll notice walking around this stadium is pretty much everything is either black or silver in Raiders colors. The actual seating layout of the stadium is pretty simple, has 3 tiers of seating, nothing really unique, but the stadium is very luxurious. One thing that is actually unique about the stadium is the Al Davis torch, located up in the Coors Light Landing, which you can see here. The Al Davis torch is 92 feet tall and the largest 3D printed object in the world, and this is the base of the Al Davis torch. This is up on the Coors Light Landing above. You can see the top of the torch. It has a quote by Al Davis. It's not a real torch anymore, it's a fake one. It's an indoor stadium, so it kind of makes sense. As I mentioned in the last slide, it's the Coors Light Landing, and here you can see that Coors Light Landing. It's a large open space for standing room. You can come up, have a drink, and walk around. It's a great place to hang out when you're in the stadium. And this is just looking in the other direction of the Coors Light Landing, so you have the giant torch in the middle, and it's kind of symmetric on either side, but there's tons of room around here. I would definitely recommend coming up in this area. The last really cool thing about the Coors Light Landing, which you cannot see in the other 2 photos, is they have this very large window that's 80 feet tall by 200 feet wide that actually opens up during some games that makes you feel like you're outside. You may have noticed it in the last photo, but the stadium actually overlooks the Las Vegas Strip. So if you're out on that landing, if you look out the window, you can actually see the Las Vegas Strip in the background. I mentioned it in the beginning, but it's not just the home of the Las Vegas Raiders, it's also the home of the college football team UNLV, and this is just a photo of their locker rooms. Pretty simple. They don't share the same locker rooms as the Raiders. We'll check that one out in a minute. This is the Las Vegas Raiders locker room. As you can see here, it's very luxurious, and again, it's in silver and black, and definitely a lot nicer than the UNLV locker rooms. And this is a view of the media room, where they interview the coach and the quarterback after the games. I would say it's pretty straightforward, pretty standard for the NFL, nothing too fancy here. This is an indoor stadium, but unlike other indoor stadiums, nothing about the stadium seems like a warehouse. They've done everything they can to make it seem really nice. Everything has a really clean look. Even some of the fireproofing is spray painted black or painted black. So you can see in this photo just how nice it is, even just going up the stairs and the escalators. This is a view of the concession area. Again, nothing too fancy, but it's very clean, has a great look to it. This is a view inside one of the suites, and you can see here it's pretty over the top. Everything about it is really nice. It's not a very basic suite at all, which you may see in some of the baseball games. This is part of the luxury I'm talking about with the stadium. This is a view inside the suite looking back towards the field. You can see here that it's very large. You can fit a lot of people in here. They have a table in the middle, and then you can go out and sit out on the field as well. And this is a view walking out from the suite. When you walk out to the field, you can see there's just a ton of seating out there. You're indoors, so you don't need to be covered, but there is an overhang as well that covers you, I guess, from whatever. I guess if you don't want the sun shining through the roof, you could still be covered. So far, we showed you inside the suites, how nice they are, and the seating outside. This is showing you the view you have here. It's a great view. You're not up too high, and you can see the suites on the other side as well. This is a view going down the hallway of some of those suites. This is also the same level that the press would be, where Troy Aikman, Joe Buck, someone like that's calling a game, they would also be at this level. Anyone at that level has the ability to come into this club. It's a beautiful club area that opens up. You have this nice bar in the middle. Again, everything around it's silver and black, but you have the hanging lights and everything about it. It's really nice. This stadium has tons of amenities. So in addition to the suites and the clubs, they also have lounges. This one is called the Twitch Lounge. And again, it's just a very nice place to come if you are in the nicer seating. And this is another view of that Twitch Lounge. As you can see here, there's places to stand around, hang out, but they also have, comfortable seating, bars all over the place. So I would recommend, if you have the money, to go check this out. And this is a view showing another hallway and lounge similar to the previous ones, but again, very high-end, very clean look to it. Going back to the overall features of the stadium, another thing that really stands out about this stadium is the roof. It's a ETFE roof, similar to SoFi Stadium. So it's covered, you're indoors, but it lets in the light, so you don't feel like you're in a dome or in a warehouse. So it's a very nice new modern feature. In addition to being home of the Las Vegas Raiders, a UNLV football team, it's also going to host the Super Bowl in 2024, and it's also home of the College Football Las Vegas Bowl. When the UNLV football team plays, they play on artificial turf, which you see here, even though it shows the Raiders logo. The Raiders, though, when they play, they actually play on Bermuda grass. It's real grass. The majority of the year is actually outside the stadium, similar to the Arizona Cardinals, and they wheel it in during the games, and it's the plate that it sits on is actually 19 million pounds, so it's a pretty impressive feat of engineering. The field you see in this level is on the concrete slab, and that's the level that the UNLV football team plays at. But given that they have to bring in the natural grass for the Raiders field is actually 4 feet higher than this field, which is up on a platform. In this photo, I'm standing up on a platform, which is actually field level when the Raiders play. Speaking of field level, if you're watching the game and you have access to the field level, then you also have access to this Champions Club, which you can see in this photo. It's a very nice, very large open area, has TV projections and a nice bar that you can see down there in the middle. You can take these stairs and escalators to get down to the Champions Club. Again, everything's black and silver, very clean look to it. It's just a great place to be. I would say very high end. This is another view of the stairs and escalators in that same club, and I just find it interesting. The stadium, nothing is just simple. The shapes they have here, everything has these crazy shapes to it, and it just has this very, I don't know. That's, I guess, how you spend a bunch of money on a stadium, is doing things like this. Moving on from the clubs, this is a view of their Hall of Fame wall. They actually have 2 of them on either side of the stadium. Kind of has all the people that's inducted in their Hall of Fame. It's a nice little thing they have, so you can go in there and see names like John Madden. This is Vegas, so you can see in this photo behind the end zone they have these booth style seating. I've seen it a lot on TV that you can go down there, hang out. It feels like you're in a club when you're watching the game. Everything about this stadium is over the top, and actually the first thing I noticed about this stadium coming into Vegas before I even went there, just driving on the freeway, was that it has this large 275-foot screen on the outside that can project anything from advertising to, things like this that you see in this photo. You could see in the last photo that the stadium has a smooth black exterior, and this is just the inside of that. This is showing the framing that actually makes up the exterior of the building. I touched on it previously that the Super Bowl is going to be here and the Las Vegas Bowl is held here. A couple other events that they have is they've recently had the Pro Bowl here. The Final Four for basketball is also going to be held here. And the Pac-12 championship has actually been moved to here as well. Walking around the stadium, some of the nicest seats I actually found were just below the Coors Light landing. So it's right on the top of that. You can see these seats here. It's like sitting in a lazy boy at home. Just super comfortable. You got a cup holder on the side, and just great place to sit for a game. The stadium is very over the top anywhere that fans may be, but the tunnel area itself, where the crews are going to be or the team's going to be, it's pretty basic. It's a standard what you would see for any other NFL or pro stadium. This is a view that the people calling the game would have. Someone like Joe Buck or Troy Aikman I mentioned earlier. This is where they would be. Not too high up. Obviously, they always have pretty good views of the game. So just something to note. I mentioned that it's an indoor stadium, and with that, the temperature was absolutely perfect. It was, when I was there, it was like 95, 100 degrees outside in the heat of Las Vegas. Indoors, it wasn't too hot, it wasn't too cold. I think it was like a perfect 70 degrees. The amenities for the fans in the stadium are absolutely amazing. And what the players have, the Raiders, it's top notch as well. And this is just showing some of what they have in there. And I mean, it's a huge plus from where they went from the Oakland area. This stadium is a great place to watch a game for fans. What you can see in this photo, though, is no one here, and that's actually what it was like when the stadium opened up. It opened up right in the middle of 2020, so fans actually weren't allowed for the first game. When I went to Allegiant Stadium, I took a tour. It's a little pricey, but I got to say it's probably the nicest tour I've been on. It shows you the field, shows you the press, everything. I mean, I think all around probably shows you more than any other tour I've been on for a stadium. A little perspective on how tall the stadium is from the field level to the roof cables. It's about 160 feet, so not crazy tall, but it's a pretty good sized stadium. This stadium has a lot of luxury seating with 127 suites that wrap all the way around the stadium. Every video I like to throw in a photo of myself at the stadium, showing I was actually there. This brings us towards the end of our tour of Allegiant Stadium. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want me to keep doing videos. You can write in the comment section what stadium you want me to do next. I can get working on that, or tour the stadium if I haven't been there yet. Lastly, they have a bar that wraps around the torch. So have a good day, and don't forget to have a drink at the torch while you're at the stadium.